nourish you. Take the nap, schedule the massage, go out to dinner, book brunch, book your nails, like really be setting your life up. Because I'll tell you, you're going to have less time to work, but you're not going to need all that time because you're going to be happier. What's up, my gorgeous queen? Hello to you, and long time no chat. It has been a hot minute during this very hot summer since I have dropped a podcast episode, which I'm going to be talking about today. And I just want to start by thanking you for being here, thanking you for showing up for your life and even selecting a podcast to in some way motivate, inspire you better yourself today. Because we all count and matter, and that includes you. And I think that in this digital age and isolation that many of us are in, we forget how lovable we are. We forget how much people love hearing from us or seeing from us. And we can get into this thing of like, does it even matter? Is anyone listening? And my answer to you today is absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things that I wanted to share is, well, first of all, this feels a little, I'm just going to be transparent here. I just basically recorded the whole podcast, but realized I didn't hit record. So some of me is trying to remember what I shared. But the message is good. I can promise you that much. I'm not going to try to recreate. I'll just be present with you right now. So one of the spaces that I have been in this summer is absolute pure bliss and enjoyment of enjoying and loving my Italian summer. Glenn and I went on a trip to Puglia. I've been eating my way through Florence, sitting poolside, going to the beaches, meeting new friends. It's been going to vineyard dinners, lovely, lovely, and lovely. And in terms of my career, I've been in this place of what's my lane? Like, what am I supposed to talk about now that I'm not exclusively teaching nuts and bolts business coaching to new entrepreneurs in terms of large classes? And I had gotten frustrated with myself and God that the answers weren't coming more quickly. Like, okay, I had all this courage to give up life as I knew it. And like, I know it's in this more spiritual and personal development realm, but like, what exactly? And people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, how do you say own your throne or teach women to be queen of their lives and try to be the queen of my own life, like, and have that make any form of sense to anyone except you and I? And so, and then if I'm going to get more strategic about it, everyone's like, well, what's the promise of the program? Like, I don't know, you're going to be more you. So I was grappling with it and I got frustrated with it. And I was like, F it, I'm just going to like not do and like let it come to me. I'm not going to do reels, social media, podcasts, newsletters. Like, I'm not going to spin my wheels. So unqueen Gina said. Actually, that was probably from my book, Little Miss Perfect Talking. Like, when the perfect picture and explanation shows up, then I'll be there for it. And it dawned on me as I was recording version 1 of this episode, is that when I started my business, it took me years to dial it in and get clear. Now, it didn't take years to start making money. It didn't take years to start making an impact. But in terms of kind of like knowing exactly who I am and what I'm doing and got known in the world for my programs and my style and my flair, that took years. And here, because I don't consider myself a new business owner, even though I'm very much a freshman all over again, in terms of like, what am I talking about and what is this next iteration of my business? I became frustrated and impatient with the process and with God and a bit with myself that the new answer wasn't here. Like, oh, I'm just supposed to jump from this like 15 to 18 year like career to like knowing exactly what the next evolution was. And so I was just like, well, I'm just going to stop. And am I any further ahead in knowing at this moment than a month ago when I decided I'm not going to do anything for a while? Not one bit. I was so hoping to come back from my like social media detox and be like, oh, I feel so much more refreshed and clear and this, that. I don't. There's a place for that. And if anyone doing that and it works for you, fantastic. I am not 1 minute ahead as a result. And in hindsight, I now get why. Everything that I have ever been guided to do came from doing. Meaning, if I was teaching one concept and then I would like hit kind of a bullseye with it, and I'm like, oh, that's the next course, and then that course would lead to the next program, which would lead to the next event, which would be the more evolved way to serve people. And by not doing anything, or if you're sitting behind your computer or trying to like come up with the perfect thing before you can really go for it, I'm here to say you might also end up disappointed. And that's really why I'm resuming the podcast today, is I'm getting myself back in the conversation, because there's a lot of life to be lived in between those mountaintop career experiences. Like, great, turning in the manuscript, launching the book, having your multiple 7-figure launch, filling sold out events, all of that. I love it all so much. I'm a Capricorn. I'm all about the results. But if you're only about the results, you're missing out on a lot of life. And what I started to realize is that this too is a valuable season that I'm in. And maybe you're in it also, or maybe you're making yourself wrong, like everyone else has got it figured out except you. And if we normalize the conversation that I don't want to perpetually, I certainly don't want to be here like 6 months or a year from now being like, I still don't know exactly what I'm doing. We'll see. I think that like if you're working towards something, that's important that you get there, and not just like, those people that are like always talking about losing 20 pounds like year after year after year and never do. Like, let's not be that person with our careers, and let's not unnecessarily pull the flower open. And what I realized, if I just went from result to result, just from knowing to knowing, from outcome to outcome, who needs faith? Like right now, I need faith that the next knowing is going to be revealed to me. I need faith to know that my best days are ahead of me. I need faith to know that there's a next evolution of divine living that is even more spectacular than the previous era. And in our lives, when things seem either really far away or fuzzy or unclear or just non-existent, or we start falsely believing like it's never going to happen, that's what faith is for. And there's a way to live in faith that, don't worry, I'm not going to get all dusty and all King Jamesy on you, so everybody sit tight. But it's divine living. Divine living is living in the present moment, having joy in the present moment. So I could sit here and either avoid the uncomfortable feelings of not being where I want to be and just like go out and play and avoid. Okay. Or I can be in it, acknowledge like, okay, it's not fully revealed today. And yet, what is today's divine assignment? what am I meant for today? How can I be of service today? And that's where when I was asking those questions, I was inspired to do this podcast, because I took myself off the Little Miss Perfect pedestal of needing to know the answer and the outcome before I gave myself the microphone and gave myself permission to have something to say. So if you're waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect outcome, the perfect message, the whatever you're waiting for, please don't. Show up today. Move your life forward today. I'll share with you another example. There's a friend of mine who was a very famous clothing designer and had like physical in-person stores and like super, super successful. And, as things do, that clothing line ended its era, and it had a really long, great, like 20-year run. And she was like, I'm just going to take a year off. Like, I want to get tired of reality television. I'm just going to take a year off and do nothing and then let my next thing come to me. Girlfriend, that was 8 years ago. Sister hasn't done anything since. And so, again, please be clear, I'm not saying there's not a time to take a break or to take time off. I'm just saying that if you're not clear on what you're doing, I haven't found that to be the solution. And being kind and gentle with yourself in the process. I'm not saying that you or I need to go into massive action today and go like, make it happen. We get to be where we're at today with as much knowledge and intuition and insight that we do have today. So for me, divine living is having a meaningful and a financially successful career and a divine lifestyle. So I was like, all right, what would be meaningful today? How can I contribute today? We've discussed that's the podcast and a few other things. I think I'm going to start doing reels again, if any of you are loving my reels on life in Italy. And I was like, I want to make a quiche. I just like that, like it's what is today? Thursday. Like I want to go into the kitchen, and I don't want today to be all about work and figuring my life out. And I went into the kitchen and I made this gorgeous and tasty, I might add, crustless quiche Lorraine. And it was fun. And I didn't, I don't have to go open a restaurant or make cooking like this big thing. If you know how to make a quiche, it's especially a crustless one, it ain't no big deal. But it was a big deal in terms of my joy this morning, in terms of me having literally a taste of divine living. And I think that's also where we get bored, depressed, out of alignment from ourselves, or even knowing what we want. When we don't fuel ourselves daily with some kind of desire and some kind of joy. And I think especially when you're going through a difficult time could be a gnarly divorce, it could be a legal battle, it could be, I don't know, team members like leaving and stealing clients, like there's like hard times. There could be like, toxic dynamics going on with your family, worried about a kid, a diagnosis, like that's a really hard time. But also, it is a challenging time to live in the question. To live in the question of who are you and what are you doing and what are you meant for and how are you going to make consistent money and the level of money that you're craving. And I want you to treat yourself even more during these hard times or challenging times. Because I found that it gave me a bit of a lift, it gave me a boost. So what do I mean by that? I made sure I got up today and I did an extra long meditation. So it felt really, really great. It felt nourishing to my soul. And then I had my journaling time and my reading time. Then I went and made my quiche. And I was like, all right, so let's go and do the work this afternoon that might feel a little unknown, a little awkward, or like it's not like in that like rhythm. When I had my Divine Living Academy and my other business programs, like I knew what I was doing on any given day of the week. I knew when the events were coming up. Like it was a fun gallop that I was in for a number of years. And it's not that right now. So it's kind of like, well, what do I work on now? And I thought, all right, well, I'm working with a couple of super ideal clients this afternoon. I'm working with one of my coaches as well. I want to go out to dinner to a new restaurant. So it's like a friend had recommended this place on a hilltop. I'll do a reel on it, show you what it looks like. It's given me a boost to be like, all right, Gina, you have your quiche in the morning. You got your new restaurant to go to with Glenn tonight. Like, let's go be in the fun of the unknowing. Let's go be in the joy of the unfamiliar. Let's approach this with a real positive attitude. And I was able to do that because I had so filled up my joy and desire tank. You know, and you got to know what it is for you. Maybe you don't want to make a quiche or want to go out to dinner. Maybe you want to go on a hike or get your nails done, do something else, but something that's just going to be like, all right, I've done this for me. You know, in all the entrepreneurial books that talk about money, they're like, pay yourself first. And I'm the one that says, delight in your desires first. Too oftentimes women are like letting themselves have these quote unquote special experiences only if everyone else's needs are met and if there's enough time and money left over for you. I'm saying flip it. Start your day with what would really be nourishing to me. What would put a pep in my step? What's gonna like have me be like, all right, I'm ready to take on this challenge. Not in a take the bull by the horns by the type of way, but in a real feminine, like I'm going to be open to receiving the divine guidance. I'm going to go through it and I'm not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to be scared. And whether it costs money or is challenging a skill set that I don't feel like I'm good at, or I got to like dust myself off because I've tried it 1,000 times and it hasn't worked, but I'm going to do it. Like I'm not giving up on whatever your thing is with it. Nourish you. Take the nap. Schedule the massage. Go out to dinner, book brunch, book your nails, like really be setting your life up. Because I'll tell you, you're going to have less time to work, but you're not going to need all that time because you're going to be happier. But you're going to get it done. You're going to get so much more done in less time because you know you have that to look forward to. And I really want the message to anchor in. And you don't have to have it all figured out to be of service and to make money. Like, go be where you're at today. Share where you're at today. Love your life today. That in and of itself is a massive, massive contribution. And I gotta tell you, you aren't the only one that sits there and is like, is anyone listening to this? Does everybody already know this? Is this interesting, or is this like not even worth publishing the podcast for? I'm not saying this to go fishing for compliments. I'm just saying this to support women, because we can be really hard on ourselves and we can really doubt our genius and we can really doubt the positive effects that we may be having on the life of another. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not a big commenter on social media. I'm not a big podcast or book reviewer. And if someone has done something that you like, do more than heart it. Like, send the DM. Take a screenshot of the podcast. Leave an actual comment that's something more than an emoji. Tell someone what them showing up, and you have no idea what it took for them, whether it was courage or getting out of their own stuff or, stifling some crippling level of anxiety to be able to go and put some piece of content out there. Or especially for all the content creators, right? Like, there's so much work that has to be done for free. And one DM can just be the thing that's needed to keep someone really going. So, not doing this out of codependency, and I don't want you getting your validation just because of the comments or the DMs. I'm just saying that we are human, and a little like, hey, that podcast actually made a difference in my life. I needed to hear that today. I think, we all love hearing that. So don't think that your stuff needs to be perfect and all figured out. Just take the next step today in moving forward. And also, do not think that you've got to do all of this alone. Remember, I do have a Transformation in Tuscany retreat coming up. There's a few spots left, and it's the last one I'm going to be doing. So check out the link in the show notes, divineliving.com/Tuscany. Do yourself a favor. If you're in some kind of stuck rut, or you've been through a life-challenging event, or you're just like, oh, I've got to get that spark and that fire back in my life, and I want to be living life in such a bigger way. That's what the Transformation in Tuscany retreat is all about. 3 days, me, you, in the heart of Florence, basking in the energy of the Renaissance to get you your personal Renaissance. Because on the other side of your boredom, on the other side of your funk, on the other side of your what am I doing, on the other side of your does anyone want what I have to say, the answer is, if you are here, God has a mega big purpose for you. And if you're not living that mega big purpose because you don't know what it is or how to get there, then let's discover that together. All right? All right, my loves, let's close this with a prayer. Good stuff. Dear God, thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you that we get to deepen our faith, strengthen our faith, have faith that what you have designed us for is absolutely miraculous, phenomenal, beyond our wildest dreams. So we ask that any of the thoughts or beliefs or actions or lack of actions that are keeping us from being the vibrational match of what you have created us for, of what our destinies are, or what how our superpowers are meant to be used. Please reveal to us in this moment just what our next steps are, and give us the courage to take them. And we pray all of this believing, amen. Amen, my loves. Until next time, bye-bye.